Section 7.3 Special Products. In the previous section we learned how to multiply polynomials. In this section we're going to look at a special case when we're multiplying two binomials. The first method we're going to learn is called the FOIL method. The reason why it's called the FOIL method is because the first letter of each step are the letters F, O, I, L. So you'll notice right here we have the 4 steps. When you're multiplying two binomials, you multiply the first 2 terms, that's the F, then the outside 2 terms, then the inside 2 terms, then the last 2 terms. F, O, I, L. Alright, let's use example 1 right here to illustrate the F, O, I, and L. Okay, F stands for the first 2 terms. So let's come down here and let's look at our binomial. The first 2 terms means take the first term in the first binomial and multiply it by the first term of the second binomial. That's F. So that is x times x, which gives us x squared. Alright, let's look at O. O means outside. So now if you look at these 2 binomials and you look at it as 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, this x is on the outside all the way to the left, and the minus 6 is on the outside all the way to the right. That's our O. So it's x times negative 6, which gives us negative 6x. Okay, let's look at I for inside. Again, if you think of these as 4 terms from left to right, the 2 inside terms are the 5 and the x. Those would be I for inside. So 5 times x gives us 5x. And L means the last 2 terms. So now we take the last term of each binomial. So the last term of this binomial is 5. The last term of that binomial is negative 6. So we're doing 5 times negative 6, which is negative 30. So those are our 4 steps. F, O, I, and L. Now what we do is we put them all together. So to find the product, we say that x plus 5 times x minus 6 equals x squared plus negative 6x plus 5x plus negative 30. So again, here's F, O, I, and L. Now we combine like terms. I have a negative 6x plus 5x, that's positive 1x, and then plus negative 30 is minus 30. So our final answer is x squared plus x minus 30, except I just realized I made a mistake here. This negative 6x, sorry about that, plus this positive 5x, that's actually a negative 1x. So that should be x squared minus x minus 30. Let's rewrite that. X squared minus x minus 30. There's our final answer. Because we combine the minus 6x and the plus 5x to give us the x squared minus x minus 30. Okay, let's look at the next example. Alright, let's do F. So remember, that means take the first term of each binomial. So that's going to give us 7x times 4x. Now let's do the outside. That's going to give us 7x times negative 3. Now let's do the inside. It's going to give us 5 times 4x. And now let's do the last 2. combine our like terms in the middle here. So our final answer is 28x squared minus 1x, or just minus x, minus 15. Alright, let's look at number 3. So I'm going to do the first two. And let's speed it up a little bit here. So instead of writing out every single step, we'll just write out the final terms when you do FOIL. So for instance, for the F, I'm going to do 4 times 5, that's 20. For my outside, I'm going to do 4 times negative 3x, that's minus 12x. For my inside, I'm going to do a negative 2x times 5, that's going to be minus 10x. And for my last two, I'm going to get a negative 2 times a negative 3, that's plus, and then x times x gives me plus 6x squared. Okay, I still combine like terms in the middle. So this is going to give me 20 minus 22x plus 6x squared. But then, of course, we want to have our final answer in standard form, so that means we put the highest exponent first. So our final answer is 6x squared minus 22x plus 20. Alright, let's look at the next page. Now this is called the product of the sum and difference of two terms. So it says find the product using the FOIL method. So we're going to use the same method we used before. We're going to do first, outside, inside, last. So the first two is x times x. That's going to give me x squared. The outside is going to give me x times negative 3. It's going to give me minus 3x. The inside is going to give me positive 3 times x. That's going to give me plus 3x. And then the last two is a 3 times negative 3. It's going to give me minus 9. Now, notice when I combine like terms in the middle, what's going to happen? Well, you should notice that our x's cancel out, because a negative 3x plus a 3x is just 0x. But of course, we don't have to write the 0x. So our final answer only has two terms. It's a binomial, x squared minus 9. Alright, let's look at the next one. Same thing. We're still doing FOIL. Alright, so my first two is going to give me 4x times 4x. That's going to be 16x squared. My outside, that's a 4x times 5x. It's going to give me plus 20x. Now my inside, that's a 4x times a negative 5x. So that's going to give me minus 20x. And my last two, I'm going to get negative 25. Okay, let's combine like terms in the middle again. And again, we have that same pattern where the middle terms add up to 0. So my final answer is 16x squared minus 25. And we'll stop right there, and you'll watch the next video for the rest of the lesson.